Okay.
So again,
You set that to 800.
yeah, it's at 800 now. And of course, you got to pull it out spring loaded.
Pull it out.
Yeah, to turn it, because then it's got to work its way back in
It
a
was set
catch.
at 1,000 before.
Right. So as we know, it will start there.
That's like a speedometer, you said.
Yeah, well, it's a cable, a cable that turns.
Yeah.
And as it very slowly, it's counting. This each 5-4 is 100 gallons of water.
Okay.
So slowly going down to 0, then it has a clutch in there.
Yeah.
So because you can reach that at 9 o'clock in the morning, still be using water, it's going to start clutching. But then
it hits that timer.
Then it goes into a cycle at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m., and then engages it.
So that thing, it'll hold off until 2 a.m. before it does it?
Right, even once it reaches 0.
When it hits that 0?
Yes, it has to, yeah, because we want it to cycle at 2 a.m., 1 a.m., when we're not using water.
Okay.
So let me put it back in the draw and just let it draw this brine down. This is another recharge on it. Now we got it set at every 800, so we'll start that, and then every time, again, it's in a cycle, so it'll be back up here, and then it's that little white dot, so it should work its way in, and then that white pointer will point to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then once it does hit 0, then it will go into a cycle that night, and then it'll reset itself back to 800 gallons, and then to count it that way.
How do you set this time? It's
yes.
as a time of day.
Right.
Off.
So pressing the red button in and turn it to the correct time of day.
Oh, okay.
So we got 10-ish.
Yeah, it's about 10.
Yeah. So that's just going to set the time of regeneration, because it doesn't know what time it is or whatever the day is. So all it knows is there's a preset mark on the back to make it go off at 1 o'clock in the morning, as long as the time of day is set correct.
Okay.
And yeah, totally mechanical valve. I mean, the regeneration motor and injectors and all that. The main thing with these, as long as it does draw the brine out of this salt tank.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't draw, it's going to fill. So usually it always floods the brine tank where there is a problem. You can see where the line was at one time.
Yeah.
And it is drawing it down. And the only thing that will raise that water level usually is this salt is caking on the bottom and making a concrete effect to the point where it won't absorb, it won't dissolve it either, and that could be the scenario. If this water being above the salt, that's not as solidified as the water that would be around the salt, down in around it. So that's the only thing I could say that could. This is really could be the the whole nutshell.
Can I just try and stick a pipe down there and see if it's
again? Yeah, I'm going to let it draw it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang with this thing a little bit, and we're going to check that, and we're going to tip it over and see if we can, once we get the water out of it. You can see it's drawing it down pretty fast too.
It looks like it's taking it out.
Yes, it is, and it draws it pretty fast. So that tells me the water is not around the salt; it's above it. It's sitting above it.
Oh, okay.
So there's no way for it to dissolve the salt and to make a brine.
I see.
So I got a feeling that really probably
that's the problem.
That is really our nutshell, that we're not really filling soft water. It's making 2 and 3 grains of hard water, which doesn't feel soft, and normally it doesn't spot as much, but
I got lots